unranked opponent. So when you look at this Florida State team, then, Danny, what's the problem? What's the main problem for you?
There's a laundry list of problems. Yes. They haven't lived up to the hype, right? Because this was a defensive line that people thought was the best in the country. It was an offensive line which had a ton of veterans. And then it was a quarterback that was a guy that was brought in the transfer portal, and DJ Uyunglele, who I just think Florida State missed on. I think they thought they could put him in a position to succeed because they would have a dominant defense, a run game to support him, and then he could play that role of game manager. The way things have unfolded, he's been exposed as somebody who cannot put the team on his shoulders, and that's been a huge problem for Florida State, so much so where I do think Mike Norvell will really have to consider making a QB change, which is tough because you're only 3 games into the season. You paid DJU a lot of money to be this quarterback for your school, but at some point you cannot worry so much about his confidence level that you are afraid to bench him and take him out of the game. You just might have to make a decision to go in a different direction to see what it looks like and see if it provides the team a spark.
16 of 30 today for 201 yards and the 1 interception. Were you surprised that Norvell maybe didn't turn to Glenn today?
I did. I thought at halftime, because it was so bad in the first half, it was so conservative. It was very much, there was this horizontal pass game. They didn't try to stretch the field vertically, and it looked like they were trying to protect DJ and not expose him to tougher throws where he could have an interception, or, you know, you just wanted to protect him. And it wasn't working, and I thought there would be a chance for Brock Glenn to come in and he could spark the offense. He's a better runner. The offensive line has struggled to protect DJ because he's been very much a statue in the pocket. Instead, I always defer to the coaches. Like, they see practice, they see what's unfolding, and Brock Glenn was not great last year. He was worse than DJU has been in the ACC championship game and the Orange Bowl. But at some point, I wonder what the locker room thinks, and that's truly what I don't know is going on there in Tallahassee. But I would imagine the defense is tired of being on the field the whole entire game, watching 3 and outs and watching mistakes being made on the offensive side of the ball, that you just try to shake things up a little bit, because what's working right now, the formula, is clearly failing.
Cardale Jones said earlier that, you know, one of the things that Florida State just doesn't realize is going into this game is that it was all still in front of them. The college football playoff, they have the opportunity to go and win the ACC and make the college football playoff. Now they're a 3-loss team.
Yeah, I mean, and I was even talking to Cardale before this, and he's like, hey, you guys could still do it, you know? Like, you can't even think about that right now. You've got to get ready to go for your next opponent. And this is where, you know, I know some coaches may use different motivational tactics and try to sell that. They do have Miami left on the schedule. They still have Clemson. They still have a lot of ACC games that they potentially could win. They have to get ready for Cal. Like, that's the next opponent on the schedule. Be ready. It is a conference game, but they have so many issues to iron out. They can't even be discussing playoffs because it would make them look foolish. They have to worry about beating one opponent before they can start worrying about the playoffs.
FSU coming into this had won 9 of the last 10 meetings between the two. The other one was a tie, and this was their first meeting since 1990. But now when you look at Memphis, 3-0 in the American. I mean, are we talking enough about this Memphis team?
No, they were in that conversation for best group of 5 team, which getting an access to the playoff this year, there will be a battle, a resume battle, who has the best wins. And we've already seen Northern Illinois from the MAC beat Notre Dame. We saw UNLV beat Kansas, and this is Memphis beating a Power 4 opponent in Florida State. What I wonder for Memphis is, how does this win look at the end of the season? Because right now it looks like an average win. They almost have to root for Florida State to get things fixed so that it looks better. Either way, Memphis, if they win the American, which I do think is probably the strongest group of 5 conference, and they have this win in Tallahassee, I think it probably does clinch them as the best group of 5.
Save more, earn more, get paid faster.
Team. Remember, Boise State had an opportunity to beat Oregon, came up short, and Oregon might be a better team, but they still lost that game. And I don't know if the Mountain West carries as much weight as the American.
The Memphis, by the way, have won 6 straight road games, and they've won 11 of the last 12 versus non-conference opponents when you include this game today, and scoring 20 or more points in 30 straight games. It's the longest active streak in college football. Big win today over Florida State, 20-12. They're going to be talking about this probably for the duration of the week.
Do we have
on the
to?
Cover 3. Yeah.
Gosh.
Danny, you know they're not going to let you off the hook. Chip, Tom, and Bud are not going to let you off the hook. You're off the hook tonight for the reaction show. We know that. It's past your bedtime. So the reaction show is coming up later tonight. The Cover 3 podcast. This is the best college football podcast out there. And I'm not just saying that because it actually is. So download and follow wherever you get your podcast or scan that QR code to listen to the latest episode right now. Now, in terms of Florida State, let's get some reaction here. Mike Norvell talking to the media after the game.
Well, the week, the preseason, off-season, things that are critically important to being successful are not showing up, as consistent as we need them to be. Obviously, offensively today, pretty easy to see. It was a very disappointing performance. Able to really ever get much going. Your second half, we were able to move the ball, but you had a couple explosive plays. But still had too many negatives. They did a good job in the first half with some of their pressure packages, and we had a couple turnovers, missed opportunities, drop balls, just mistakes that don't allow to play winning football. And we came out, third quarter, be able to hit a big play, get down, score a touchdown, wherever, move the ball, got in the red zone, need to be able to finish. Had a mistake, there inside the 5 that hurt us, and obviously. Not be able to finish there at the end. And, I thought the defense had good moments. Still, too many times we're not getting off the field in third down situations. We had some mistakes. We had some new guys that, really got, tested today just with our depth. We had guys that went down, on both sides of the ball. We, lost Darius Washington in pregame, so, forced some moving pieces there. Within the offensive line, had some linebackers go down. Obviously, opportunities for guys to rise up and seize the moment. And some guys did, and then obviously some guys we obviously got to make sure that we're doing all the things in our preparation to allow us to go out there and play to the level that we're capable of playing. And I do believe that we're a much better team than what we're showing. So obviously it still comes down to me being able to get that out of these guys, and for that to show up on game day. And that's I'm just disappointed that I've not been able to get more out of what I believe this team is. And we're going to continue to work at it. I believe in who we have. I believe in what they can do, and but we got to be able to transition what the positive things that we see out there on the practice field. It's got to come. It's got to be able to translate on the game day. And obviously that's going to be a lot of evaluation, a continued evaluation coming off a bye week. That's what we did, and I thought we would have a much better performance than what we did here today. I think all three phases had moments of just not looking like and not playing like the way that we're capable of. So, good questions.
All right, first one will be Chris Nee, second row here, right?
Mike, how do you do things differently or approach things differently to get the results that you expect from the practice that you're not getting translating to games right now?
It's I've been doing this for a while, and it's there's times where you see guys playing and or as we talked pressing, obviously trying to do too much. We try to simplify communication, try to make sure that you were doing things that guys have shown throughout that work to be consistent and to be able to translate. And that's you will continue to evaluate that. And I definitely know what it takes to win games. I know what it takes to for a team to go out there and be able to execute and play at a high level. And we all have to do a better job of what we're doing throughout the course of the week. And obviously I challenge the players, challenge the coaches, right, because we can't continue to come into games and then see things that absolutely are not a part of what we and who we are show up. And So we all have to prepare better, and we all got to make sure that we get to game day, that it is our best foot forward. And these guys, they haven't stopped working. I mean, you guys are at practice. I mean, it's they do work. Obviously the transition to the game day. We've got to do a better job of making sure that whether it's the communication, whether it's the understanding the reaction, and then just being confident in the moment and go making a play. I mean, that shows up with with missed opportunities, and that obviously we have to be better in that situation.
We'll stay over there for Ira.
You guys, obviously, you mentioned the drop passes, but to have 67 yards in a half, have you ever had an offense that struggled like this to do much of anything?
Let's say, have I ever? Sure, probably some point. But it wasn't. I mean, obviously, we did not. You turn the ball over a couple times. The turnovers matter. You turn the ball over on the second play of the game. That's a big play. We had the interception. You got pressure. Arm got hit. Had an opportunity on the play. But when you have those things, and then you have a couple big drops and moments, I mean, that kills drives pretty quick. And we thought we did a good job coming out in the third quarter and be able to hit the explosive play. I thought we moved the ball there in the second half, but we got to finish drives, and we got to eliminate mistakes that put us in challenging situations because of TFLs, because of pressures, and I mean, obviously like I said, it's all of us. So
next will be Jordan in the middle.
Coach, it's clear to hear the disappointment in your voice. I'm just wondering your message to the team at halftime when you guys were down 10 points, and also your message to the team after the game right now.
Just at halftime, you have to go play the next play, and you get caught up. Looking at a scoreboard, you get caught up on. I mean, there's no secret. The offense struggled in the first half. But even with that, there's games where that one side of the ball might struggle, and we've got to have each other's back, and we got to make sure that we're responding and controlling the things that we can control in those situations. And that was my message to them, is that it didn't matter offense, defense, especially we needed to be able to go out there. We got to have the game changing plays and